presence in central Tehran. Opposition groups have urged their supporters to return to the streets to mark a week since the deaths of 2 people killed in protests in the capital. Suez Canal officials are denying reports that 2 Iranian naval ships have sailed through the waterway. Well, that's despite claims by Iranian state TV that they've already passed through and are on their way to Syria. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it's an attempt by Iran to broaden its regional influence.
We can just see how unstable a region we live in, a region where Iran attempts to take advantage of the current situation to advance its influence by passing through the Suez Canal 2 war vessels. Israel sees the Iranian step as dangerous.
Well, Afghan medical officials say at least 40 people are now known to have been killed in Saturday's suicide attack, making February the worst in 8 months. Well, the Taliban says one of its bombers blew himself up at Kabul Bank in Jalalabad. 73 more people have been injured. The bomber targeted intelligence and security workers collecting their salaries. Meanwhile, a governor in eastern Kunar province says recent attacks by US-led NATO forces have killed 64 people. Included in the dead, 20 women and 29 children. Dozens more wounded are being treated in a hospital in Asadabad. NATO says it's investigating reports that 7 civilians were injured in those operations. Meanwhile, the former head of Afghanistan's intelligence agency is casting doubt over President Hamid Karzai's plan to bring about stability in the country. Speaking to AlJazeera, Amrullah Saleh says President Karzai is making secret deals with the Taliban. Zaina Khuda reports.
He fought the Taliban when he was the head of Afghanistan's intelligence agency for 6 years. He is still fighting the movement even after leaving office. But now it is on the political front. Amrullah Saleh has begun what he calls a grassroots movement. The former spy chief is reaching out, not only to those in his community, the Tajiks, but other ethnic groups as well. It is about trying to forge unity in a polarized country, he says. One of the divisive factors, Karzai's peace overtures to the Taliban, which Saleh described as a recipe for war.
And if they win through the script of democracy, they should be given a space to govern. But we should not make a deal. The deal is dangerous and it will lead us to another civil strife.
The fear here is the Afghan government is desperate to strike any deal with the Taliban and other groups, and they are doing so behind closed doors. Saleh wouldn't be more specific about the alleged deals, but said many Afghans are worried.
My message to President Karzai is very simple. The absolute majority of Afghans want a strong state. You have heard his speeches. When there are blasts in Afghanistan, civilians are killed. He does not attribute it to people who claim we have done it.
This is one of Amrullah Saleh's support base, the Panjshir Valley, the hometown and stronghold of Ahmad Shah Massoud, the assassinated leader of the Northern Alliance, the Tajik force that fought the Taliban. Amrullah Saleh was his close aide.
It's still not clear how much support Saleh has and whether it does come from across the ethnic divide, but he is optimistic.
So we will not remain grassroots forever. This is one day going to be a national level political movement.
National movement, that may be difficult. Ethnic groups vie for political power, which in the past has led to bloody conflicts. But Saleh says that is his goal, because there are 2 paths. Afghanistan could either become further polarized or united. Zaina Khuda, AlJazeera, Panjshir Valley.
Well, racist or realistic? The Australian mural that's stoking huge controversy over immigration. That's in a few minutes. Plus, the White House Christmas tree comes to an early end thanks to the winds of change in Washington.
Hello, we've got a bit of everything across the United States at the moment. Bit of a mixed bag. I move out of the way. Look at this huge, massive cloud coming in. This is yet another winter storm. So we've got some widespread snowfall across the northern plains. Some parts here could see as much as 50 centimetres of snow through the course of Sunday going on into Monday. But look to the south, it's warm here, 23 Celsius for Dallas, and we're getting well up into double figures too for Atlanta, and certainly that is the case for Miami. We will see some of that warmth edging its way up towards DC as we go on through Monday, so 18 Celsius by this stage. Rain coming down towards Texas, and that snow still very much in place from the northern plains right the way up into New England, eastern parts of Canada. But brighter skies will come back in behind, certainly feeling a little fresh. Some wet and windy weather will make its way into California as we make our way into the middle part of next week. Certainly some snowfall there into western areas of Canada as well for good measure. No shortage of snow across Europe at the moment, certainly into eastern parts of Europe. Wintry weather just around the Alps, down towards the Balkans, and certainly very cold over into that eastern side of Europe, and -20 there for Moscow. We've got rain and we've got some rather windy weather coming into western parts, but at least it's mild. 9 degrees in Paris.
Decoding the stories that shape our views.
Those images catapulted the story back into the headlines.
Everything that I thought would be easy was hard, and everything that I thought would be hard was easy.
From mainstream media to consumer-led advertising.
There are other options.
What's at the front line of global media?
This has been reported worldwide.
With a major media angle to it.
Comparing news and challenging views. The Listening Post, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. Let's recap our top stories here in Al Jazeera now. A hospital official in Libya says 200 people have been killed in anti-government protests in the city of Benghazi. On Sunday, hundreds of anti-government protesters returned to a court building in the eastern city to demand the overthrow of Muammar al-Gaddafi. Bahrain's main trade union has called off a strike planned for Sunday, saying its demand for the right to protest peacefully has been heeded. It comes as demonstrators gathered again on Sunday at the Pearl Roundabout in the capital, Manama. Protests are now being planned in Morocco, where it's being billed as a day of dignity. Thousands are expected to call for the king to dissolve parliament and implement reforms. Opposition groups are also planning to hold demonstrations in Iran. Popular social media tools such as Facebook played a crucial role in the run-up to the revolt in Egypt that toppled the Mubarak government there. Well, now the country's interim military rulers are using the same tool in an attempt to win over the support of the people. Rawi Arageh reports from Cairo.
They've been communicating with people on the streets, and now they've turned to the internet to win hearts and minds. Egypt's Supreme Military Council has set up its own Facebook page, the same tool young activists used to organize the revolution.
We have set up this page on the orders of the head of the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, because the Council believes that fruitful cooperation with Egypt's honourable son